Hello. So I know a lot of people are frustrated with GameStop's pricing and trade-in values, including me, but you can find good deals there. I was just in a GameStop and I found The Walking Dead, the final season, $18.99. Now online this is a $50 game. Usually GameStops, they look up games and they see what they're going for online and they change their prices, which stinks, but sometimes you can beat them to the punch, get in there early before they really know what's going on. So go pick this game up before they change the price and raise it, because it's very hard to find. Now I also got this, The Wolf Among Us, $17.99. I always wanted to play it. That's about the average price for it, I guess. But they were doing a buy two, get one free. So I got this one called Daymare 1998, which is like a kind of like a Resident Evil 2 ripoff, like the original Resident Evil 2 from the 90s. With their membership card, I also had a coupon for $5 off. So basically I spent like 38 bucks on what seems to be about $90 worth of games. So yeah, this is a pretty good deal for GameStop at least. The best deal I ever got at a GameStop, though, was when they phased out the PlayStation 1 games in around probably 2007, I would say. And they were all 80% off. But then if you had their insider card thing, they were additional 10% off. So all the games were 90% off. So like $10 games were $1, $20 games were $2. And I went to every single store in Rhode Island and southern Massachusetts, and I just bought hundreds and hundreds of games, and many of them are still in my collection today. And most of them were just like in the back room, so you'd have to ask for a list, and they would print the list online, and you'd just check off the ones that you wanted to buy. But I was able to convince some of the stores to let me go in the back room. And they were basically just young kids like, yeah, you're not supposed to be back there, but yeah, who cares? Go ahead. And I got to cherry pick all the best games. It was so cool. At the time, I thought like driving 20 miles to go somewhere was a huge trek. But if I could do it now, I would have went to every store in New England. And I wouldn't have even browsed the games. I would have just said, yeah, I'll buy every single one. Because even like a Madden game that was selling for before the sale like $1, you're only paying 10 cents for it. You could sell Madden now for, a few bucks. But there's no way they're ever going to have a sale like that that's ever that good again. Like even if GameStop goes out of business, they'll have a clearance sale, but by the time it gets to 90% off, all the good stuff will be gone. As a kid, before there was a GameStop in my area, there used to be Electronic Boutique. And I'm not sure if it was because I was a kid or that's just the way things were back then, but you could return anything. Like games I had owned for like 2 years, hard driving, Sega Genesis, I just bring it back and say, oh, I didn't like this. And they would just let you pick something else out. We used to do that all the time. We used to do that at Toys R Us and all the stores back then. You could kind of return things way easier. I was in an electronics boutique as a young kid, and there were all these teenagers in this store, and it kind of seemed like they were up to no good, and they were making a ruckus. And the manager was like, "Hey, get out of here!" He was like this dorky guy. "Hey, if you're not buying anything, you gotta leave." So they just like took off, and as they were leaving, he's like, "Oh, what's this?" And he bends over and he picks up a bag of weed on the ground, and then he like opens it and he's sniffing it, and he goes, "Yeah. That's the real stuff, all right. I'm going to tell store security." And like, I'm not sure if he actually reported it to store security or if he kept it for himself. But that will always be in my memory bank. Yep, that's the real stuff, all right. When the Silent Hill movie came out, it really raised the price of the game. And I remember the weekend the movie came out, I sold the game online. It was normally like going for $20. I sold it for $90 because people got in a bidding war. So that's a little tip. That's free, that tip right there. Wait for something to like get attention from something else, and then that's the best time to sell it. I hate to say it, but like when someone dies, that's the perfect time to sell something. you owned by them. Like Chris Benoit wrestling DVDs. Like at one point they were going for like $50 and you could still buy them in like the Walmart discount bin. Back in the day, GameStop used to sell wrestling DVDs, so I got a lot of good wrestling DVDs there. And they were actually cheap for the time. They used to either be $12.99 or $9.99. But some they didn't have in their system, so they would only charge $5.99 for them. And these were usually the better ones. I also found a lot of obscure horror movies for $5.99, and they will always buy 3, get 1 for free. GameStop eventually stopped selling DVDs, and they opened up a separate store called Movie Stop. And I used to do pretty good trading in DVDs. I would find other places, and I would sell them there, and I would make a profit that way, which was pretty cool. But that's all I really have to say about GameStop at the moment, and thank you for watching. Now, it helps if you like and subscribe because I'm trying to be a YouTube influencer, but as it is now, I'm just a YouTube influenza. Sorry.
Ooh.